So I'm back here again. So I'm not going to bore you guys with my slides before the lunch. So I'm here to discuss one of the most important topics of the day, how leaders like Nitin, Atul, and Amar drives AI, right? Let's just give a couple of more minutes for Nitin to join in. And in the meantime, let us start off by a quick introductions, right? Why don't we start off with you, Atul? Why don't you start off by giving a quick career highlight about yourself, and then we can go to Amar.
Sure. First of all, thank you for inviting me here. So my name is Atul Kumar. I'm taking care of the online business at PW as a CEO. You may be aware of PhysicsWallah as a brand, and we are into online education, offline education. We have around 170 plus centers pan-India, 40 categories in which we operate, mostly test prep. Beyond that, there's upskilling, there's schools wherein we work. So the entire PhysicsWallah is built on a very robust and massive distribution of YT, more than 70 million students, subscribers there. We recently went for IPO and had a lot of people congratulating for that. So thanks for that. And we have really good growth plans. And specifically, I would say PhysicsWallah is one of the companies at tech who is forerunner when it comes to AI implementations. We have been doing it for last couple of years, and a lot of products are there already on floor, and we are seeing the results, very promising results of AI. So yeah, looking forward to our conversation.
Awesome.
Sure. So thanks for having me here. I represent Rupeek. Rupeek, as you know, is a fintech in secured lending. We provide gold loans and various other products against gold. So talking about distribution, favorite topic. So we are in 500 plus pin codes, every major city we're already present in. We also bundle various products together for the convenience of our customers. Hey, hi.
No problem.
So sorry to
You're
interrupt,
right on time.
but please join me in welcoming Mr. Nitin Jain, CTO from ShareChat. A huge round of applause for him, everyone. Yeah, so let's go ahead with the chat now.
Yeah, sure. I was about to wind up anyway. So yeah, we are also doing a lot of different things in AI. Maybe we can talk about what kind of different areas that we cover, and maybe we can go from there.
Thank you very much, Amar. Nitin, why don't you just give a quick introduction about yourself?
Yeah, sure. And by the way, sorry to keep you guys waiting. I just realized I went to a wrong venue, and I was waiting for my name to be announced, and it's not anywhere.
That happened to me as well earlier.
Okay, all right. So I'm not the odd one out. Okay, that's good. That's good to know. Hey everyone, my name is Nitin Jain. I am CTO at ShareChat. We are the largest native social media company in India, serving about 200 million monthly active users across almost every corner of India in 15 different languages. And what's basically makes ShareChat unique is our deep understanding of India's linguistic and cultural diversity. And what that really means is whether somebody is coming from Northeast or somebody is coming from Kerala, our platform actually is able to show them contents and be able to speak to them in their language and in their context. And what that requires is basically is a deeper user understanding. And that means basically we are a very large scale data and the AI builder along, and as well as consumer as well. And in fact, we have pioneered certain things in this space, which typically the kind of innovation that has been happening in technology and product space outside India, predominantly led by Meta or Google, we have been trying to build same thing locally in India as well to a reasonable success. And prior to that, I've been with TikTok and was leading their e-commerce digital advertising solutions, and then been in other parts helping some of the infrastructure companies as well earlier.
Great. Thank you very much, Nitin. And gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me here. I'm delighted to be moderating you guys today. So what we'll do in the next 10 to 15 minutes is let us break down the session into 3 parts, right? Let us focus on the vision first, on how you guys think AI is going to shape up from an operational perspective and a business growth perspective. And then we'll go into the CTOs on focusing on towards how are you implementing them. And finally, again, coming back to you, Atul, on how AI is generating value for an impact perspective for your business. So, Atul, like, why don't you start off by giving us a significant strategic advantage using AI from a business perspective?
Yeah, so I feel AI has a lot of advantages, both strategic as well as in day-to-day operations, if you say. So speed for an organization like us is very important, and that is what AI provides really well. Means your speed is ensured, and that is data-backed. So for example, if I have to devise a penetration strategy for, say, a Northeast India, my team earlier would take a week to, come up with a plan. But with AI and the research happens so easily, we are ready in a day. We get an idea to how we should, what exactly is the dynamics there. Scale is another, you implement AI. So we are into 40 different test preps. Right. If you implement one AI solution in one test prep, the scalability is huge, right? And it's very rapid. I do not need additional cost, additional manpower, additional talent to it, and it can be scaled. And we have a lot of products which we have done, scaled up. Student experience, for example, is again one aspect which I've seen with AI introduction in many of the products. The TAT, for example, reduces from 4 to 5 days to a few seconds, 30 seconds, 1 minute TAT. So that helps a lot to build a student experience. Cost saving, as we know, is one factor. Since you are driving efficiency, operational efficiency, cost will be saved by default. Added to it, if you are totally into AI for long and you understand the use cases, you can also have new revenue streams generated in that. That is something which is ongoing with us in few of the projects. So I think all these different dimensions help you strategically to scale the business, to take the business to a different level, and also ensuring good profitability.
That's awesome. So, Atul, like you made the right point. Like I think there is a connection between PhysicsWallah and ShareChat right now. The one thing that's connecting you is the language, which like the diverse India market is in, right? Like, Nitin, I would want to ask you this question. Like, we see that PhysicsWallah is using AI to kind of explore it in the language literary terms, where I was talking to Atul some time back, where they are able to like identify these conversations that they can build on top of their platforms for the training perspective on specific languages using AI much more faster, which gets released into production. So how do you do something similar from a language perspective with ShareChat?
Interesting question, and I think definitely there is a lot of synergy the way Atul said. I think maybe the way we look at the problem is slightly different, but at the end of the day, you are into content business, right? And we are into the content business as well, if I just take a very abstract view onto this, right? And I think the way we use this today is, I think initially in our early days, like from 2023, when we were building our own recommendation system, we ended up actually building our language understanding in a lot of contemporary way, but something, let's say, pre-2022 era, where there was deep learning, and then you will basically acquire a lot of data yourself and then try to build deep models which try to emulate user behavior and then simultaneously build language understanding. But now with LLM, I think LLMs are able to do a lot of that job better, and in that process, not only able to speed things up, but also is able to reduce the operational footprint and then be able to give another mental space to the team to work on another high cardinality problems. So such things like, for example, like for a content, there's some basic content understanding. The way people discover content onto ShareChat platform, they typically discover through trending tags, or they will look for content, let's say for a Diwali tag, and they would want to then find out the typically trending posts which are going into Diwali, or there will be a topical aggregation of the contents. So we use LLMs typically to identify what are the valid tags, what are the new tags, what are the topics. Then we are into microdrama as well, not just short form video, into microdrama. Microdrama basically is multiple episodes, small episodes, linked into a series type of format. Now we are a UGC platform. That means anyone can come and upload anything that they want. Now the problem is some of these times these contents are either not of good quality, and recently we have seen a trend where people actually upload unfinished series as well onto platform. They are pretty engaging series, but unfinished. What happens is users are super excited to consume them, but finally they leave with a very bad taste in their mouth because the episode did not finish or series did not finish, and they are basically left with this unfulfilled taste in their mouth. So we use LLMs now to discover, to identify whether a series is a complete or not, and that way we are able to nudge our creators as well in that particular process. So I think, and then we consume across multiple languages. Right. Now, if we produce content in Hindi, how do we make it consume this, our audience in South India? So we convert, then we use a machine to convert this into, or dub into the other languages like Tamil, Telugu, and others as well. So I think variety of use cases. Ivan did not talk about the organizational efficiency, I think, which is complete different orthogonal, but yeah, if required, I can touch base on that as well.
Great, thank you very much, Nitin. That was a really awesome response. And the next question is for you, Atul, right? Like we heard from Amar and Nitin on Amar.
Sure. Yeah,
sorry, we heard from Atul and Nitin on they found operational efficiency. Like, how do you see operational efficiency from the Rupeek side of things?
Sure. So everything that you do in AI finally has to make business sense, right? It has to be coherent to what your business goals are. And he spoke about how social media, they're going to do probably discovery and moderation. He spoke about how it all ties into, say, his content strategy. So at Rupeek, as a fintech, we are into secured lending. So as a platform, what we do is we get the right product in front of the user. We help them discover that, right? Mm-hmm. We also fulfill that end to end. Mm-hmm. So what you're thinking about is what are the human touch points which are involved in this process, and what are the automations possible using AI in these steps. And of course, voice is a huge part of it. Vernacular voice is a huge part of it. Most people prefer having someone on speed dial. Your relationship manager in a bank, we have something similar. And what parts of it can you first do it via AI? This is one big piece that we are currently focusing on. Right? It's a big part of our customer experience, not just from a cost perspective, but also from how they walk away with, in terms of overall customer experience. Are they happy? Did they get what they wanted quickly? All those touch points finally come down to voice. And of course, there is an app, but voice is also a huge part of it. Then there are other aspects of fintech, like how do you underwrite customers? How do you detect fraud? How do you handle security? So on and so forth. So I think that should give you a pretty high-level idea of how we're trying to roll out AI in our company.
And could you also add some of like the challenges that comes through implementing AI, right? Like, this is like kind of getting very fancy right now, but could you like go a little bit more deeper and explain like some of the key challenges that you have faced as well?
Sure. So of course, when you try to integrate AI into your SDLC software development lifecycle, you will see a lot of fancy demos, mostly focusing on how you can generate code. What are the other parts of it? You also need to deploy it, you need to observe it, you need to test it, and the tooling honestly hasn't caught up yet in those other areas, right? So what we are trying to do is essentially what are the ways in which we can improvise in those areas. Yeah. Like let's say you deployed a model, it's half of a black box. You do know some things about it, but there are things in which you will have to build evals, you will have to build good quality gates to ensure that your customers at the end of the day can use it well. So one of the big challenges is how do you integrate it across the SDLC? How do you test it? How do you observe it? And of course, how do you like deploy it? So
yeah, I think you brought up the right point now, right? Nitin, this is the next question to you, right? Like, I would want to understand, like, based on these complexities, how are you getting this right visibility from your business angle of it? And what exactly is happening from the technology side of it as well? Like, do you have a single pane of glass where you can like relate what is happening from a tech perspective and what is impacting on a business perspective?
Sure. I know that's a great question. And then I think I probably would want to expand a little bit on what Amar said as well, I think, because I think so the way generally people would understand what it requires to build a AI/ML based product and solution actually is very, very different in what we'll hear, let's say in theory or in external mediums versus what practically happens, right? And then I think, so I'll come to your question as well, but I thought maybe that's an important addition as well. I think while modeling part of this is sexy, right? That is the thing that everyone wants to go after. But I think the real AI/ML really lies on the left and right of what that modeling is. Basically, this starts with data eventually, right? At the end of the day, I think organizations will have to spend a lot of time in just looking at collecting data and then basically making their data as clean, as pristine, as useful as possible. And the more noise in the data, the more machine is going to be confused about, and at a certain point in time, if noise is beyond certain threshold, machine can't even recover from that. So I think that's a grunt work, right? It's obviously a lot of data engineering, but at the end of the day, a lot of grunt work. Other part goes is on the right-hand side of this. Once you have a model, how do you really ensure that the way people look at the models, right, which ties to a little bit of your question, which you were asking, the way a data scientist will evaluate their model, they will typically evaluate this in the form of training data that they get, but that does not have any direct correlation to the business matrices, right? So how do you really make that assessment that whatever you are seeing in offline, is that something which is able to replicate inside the online or not? And that is where evaluation frameworks actually become pretty important, right? Evaluation framework, both from the point of view, first of all, my model is doing exactly the same thing that it was supposed to do in the developer environment. Is it doing exactly the same thing in the production environment? That by itself is a challenge. Like we all hear regularly, developer keeps saying, it works on my machine, right? And that is something you hear from engineers. This is even more true for ML folks. Right? It works on their machine, but does not work in production, and that is the reason why majority of the project fails. So I think finding out that A/B test frameworks, and I know we are running short of time, so I'll probably just compress it a little bit. And I think, so coming to evaluation, I think it's important to ask a question. What is the business problem? How does it affect my customer? And then you ask, by the way, is it viable for my business or not? I think expanding on one of the point, Atul, you said cost, right? So while one side it helps saving the cost, on the other side, the bigger challenges, if we are not careful, it will really break the bank as well, right? Like yesterday only I was talking to GCP, we are using this for content creation, and I figured out to create an 8-second video, it takes us about 60 rupees. Right now, for a platform which creates 10 million videos over a day, 60 rupees, that means which is like, I'm probably bankrupt in a month from now. Right? So how do you now, that is where the challenge with the AI comes in, is how do you efficiently and effectively deploy it? And then how do you ensure that whatever you are able to do in offline, you have got strong online measures to be able to map it to the actual performance of the users and business.
Great, thank you very much, Nitin. So just to wrap up the session here, like, the last one, like, just a quick one-liner from everyone, right? Like, so AI is booming. And what do you guys think from a KPI perspective on what has worked out for your business in a single or a couple of lines from a business growth perspective and an operational perspective? Like, everyone gets a chance to quickly tell 2 lines about it.
So from the business perspective, I can say that we have launched more than 5 to 6 products in AI, and they are at huge scale because we operate at scale. And I can very much resonate with what Nitin said, that the job at tech end is really, really tough. What happens is that we get a product and it is being rolled out to, say, 50 lakh students who are studying, and our expectation as business is that the experience should be as good as a person sitting behind and solving those doubts. But on day one, you might not get it. Right. But what we have achieved through implementation of the AI in the last 1 year, you have AI Guru, who is 24/7, solving your doubts and everything. You have AI counselors now. You have AI books, which have been implemented. You have AI graders who rate your subjective questions of UPSC Foundation. So I see a huge scope here, and we have started off really well. Now, with time, the AI usage in more revenue stream generation will increase from here, what I can see.
That's for sure, definitely.
Yeah, sure. So in our business, we don't have the scale that they do, but we have the GMV in a different sense. It's not throughput or traffic, right? Mm-hmm. So for us, what really matters is in what ways does it contribute to operational efficiency, and in some areas, you get gains of anywhere between 80 to 90%. Right, and that's a huge number depending on how you look at it contextually and how it adds to the top line. So that's the impact that AI can have.
And finally, Nitin, you want to quickly add about that as well?
Yeah, see, for us, while we are a social media company, see, on the back end, we are a data and AI company. Weaving does not exist without that. And then the scale at which we operate, I think at that scale, it requires us to really push the boundaries as well to whatever is feasible and possible. And I think that real challenge that I think we face sitting in India is the cost margins, because it's very, very hard to monetize Indian user base, and then that means we end up really squeezing every single drop of water from what AI is. But yeah, I think generally I'm pretty hopeful with whatever advancements are happening in that space, and we are a company made out of that anyways.
Great, thank you very much. I think like we went a little bit over time, but it was a lot of good insights. And thank you very much, and it was very delightful to talk to you all today. Thank you very much.